This is the last word, and I'm Maria Shakil. Pran Pratishtha, or the consecration ceremony of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, is being billed by the BJP as a fulfillment of a divine dream. The India Bloc, which has chosen to give the ceremony a miss by calling it a BJP project, religion is a personal matter, has decided to mount its own events to showcase its astha. From Mamata Banerjee's Kalighat visit to Sundarkand and Hanuman Chalisa recitation programs of Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal to Uddhav Thackeray's Maha Aarti, the opposition is going all out in its bid to reimagine Hindutva. But is this more reactionary? The BJP is also trying to connect Ram Temple with South India. Prime Minister's Southern Temple runs continue. But here is the BJP showcasing its plan for upcoming Lok Sabha polls. So the question that we ask on the last word, is the opposition playing catch-up on this Mandir route?
NCP Chief Sharad Pawar joining the ranks of opposition leaders declining the Ram Mandir consecration invite for the 22nd of January, as did RJD Chief Lalu Yadav. Pawar wrote to Champat Rai, the General Secretary of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirtha Kshetra, thanking him for the invitation, but humbly declining to be a part of the mega event.
त्या राम भक्तांचा विचार राहिला बाजूला आणि रामाच्या नावावर राजकारण करण्याचं काम आज त्या ठिकाणी भाजप आणि RSS यांनी सुरुवात केलेली आहे. ही गोष्ट आपण गांभीर्याने घेतली पाहिजे.
राम मंदिर का उद्घाटन है, क्या राम मंदिर उद्घाटन में आप लोगों को सर आमंत्रण मिला है, जाएंगे? नहीं जाएंगे सर.
No.
But clearly confusion prevails in the India bloc over playing the Ram card even as they boycott BJP's Mission Mandir. Makar Sankranti saw Congress leaders take a Jai Siya Ram dip in river Sarayu even as the grand old party declined the invite. Mamata Banerjee shot down reporters' questions about various temples, declaring, "I have nothing to say about it." She plans to visit the Kalighat temple in Kolkata on January 22nd and then hold a communal harmony rally. AAP boss and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has announced Sundarkand and Hanuman Chalisa programs across the national capital.
उसमें लेटर में उन्होंने लिखा है कि बहुत ज़्यादा वीआईपी और वीवीआईपी आएंगे और इसीलिए सुरक्षा को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए एक ही व्यक्ति अलाउड है वहाँ पे अभी इस टाइम जाना. मैं चाहता हूँ कि अपनी धर्मपत्नी और अपने बच्चों के साथ और मेरे माता पिता को भी बहुत ज़्यादा चाव चढ़ा हुआ है कि हमें जाके रामलला जी के दर्शन करने हैं, तो अपने माता पिता, अपनी धर्मपत्नी, अपने बच्चों के साथ में जाऊंगा. बाद में चले जाएंगे जब भी एक बार ये भी हो जाए 22 तारीख में.
But the big question is, will the opposition playing catch-up on Mandir Marg pay off dividends in the mega 2024 Lok Sabha elections? With Prashant, Bureau Report, NDTV.
My guest now, Dr. Shantanu Sen is the TMC spokesperson, Sandeep Shastri, National Coordinator of Lokniti, Sajjan Kumar, political analyst, Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist, and Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP. Neerja Chaudhary, beginning with you, why does all these plans that the opposition has unveiled for its, for showcasing its faith or astha is looking like an afterthought? Because it is one. Would you say that?
Well, yes, it is an attempt to counter because they don't know how to mount a counter alternative to the BJP's Hindu nationalism. It's a wider question, and attendance at the Ram Mandir opening is only one part of it. And I think, Kejriwal is formulating it very, very differently. He's not saying we are not going. He says, I want to go with my dharam patni, because the Prime Minister has come in for criticism for doing that ceremony. Normally people say it's done as a couple. So he's emphasizing the dharam patni. My old parents who have great faith, I will take them all afterwards. He's not saying I'm boycotting this event. That's a very different position. Sharad Pawar also says the same thing. I will go later. Akhilesh Yadav has said similar things. Ram ka bulawa aega to jayenge. But Congress has taken a position very different. The religion is personal, a private thing, and that BJP is politicizing it for election purposes, and that's why they're not going. So I think that they are in a dilemma on how to counter this, because the the benefit of what is going to happen on January 22 is likely to go to the BJP, because people see the temple construction, they give the credit for it to Narendra Modi.
Yes. Yes. So, what is Congress losing in its political communication here, Sandeep Shastri? What is it really missing? Would you say that perhaps Sharad Pawar, even AAP Supremo, Akhilesh Yadav, some would say to a great extent even Lalu Yadav, they have managed to communicate it far more better, making it more nuanced that yes, I will go at the right time because it is Ram ka bulawa. Ram, calls his devotees, rather than making it about political project or religion matter of private spaces.
Maria, among the official responses from the opposition which came out, the Congress response was among the first. And then, yes, as you saw the reactions to those responses coming, I think the other leaders have calibrated their responses a little more carefully. So being the one who came up with the first response, I think there could have been a tactically better response, as I said on your show earlier, that we are not going on 22nd because it is a authentically political event. We will go later because we too are intensely devout Hindus. Now, something like that would have been more effective than how they actually put it out. And that's what subsequently political leaders have done from the opposition in response to the invitation. But Maria, I think there is a bigger point. You have titled this whole discussion as the whole debate on competitive Hindutva. But I think what I see it is being seen from the lens of all sides trying to appropriate Hindutva. It's not just about competitive Hindutva, it's about appropriating Hindutva.
Do you think that appropriation is a wrong pitch to play on, Sajjan Kumar? Because the real appropriation has been done by a party which believes in that ideology. So others are playing catch up here, while the BJP will be able to communicate to the people of India at large that yes, it is something that was mentioned in their manifesto, something that they believed in, and finally it's the realization of that dream and a promise.
Yes, because Hindutva is primarily a populist discourse. It brings religion as the popular imagination of the religiosity, not a very orthodox or a conservative version of Hindu religiosity. And that is why if you want to appropriate Hindutva, you cannot take cover behind the authorities like Shankaracharyas who represent the conservative aspect of Hindu religiosity. So therefore, this very attempt, or rather a very half-hearted attempt to appropriate Hindutva or compete with Hindutva discourse has a blunderous part, because you cannot at one point say you are not going there because Shankaracharyas, the supreme authorities, who certainly do not represent the subaltern religiosity of Hinduism because of many rigid and conservative positions of so many rituals. And here you find that Ram temple construction and 22nd is something which is trying to create a fusion between half conservatism, wherein they are invoking certain religiosity, but at the same time they are also making it malleable to cater to the popular aspiration. And therein comes the very subaltern element that the Hinduism and the Hindu religiosity has always been laden with, starting from the Bhakti movement to folk religiosity. And 2019 also, on 5th August, when Modi laid down the foundation, Shankaracharyas and Dharmguru opposed it, saying that it's the Dakshinayana, not auspicious.
Yes, Sajjan, so that religiosity point that you're trying to make, is that something that the BJP has managed to communicate, particularly ensuring that the Prime Minister is in southern India for the last few days, and he's continuing with his temple visits. So he's trying to connect Ram temple as not an aspect of only North or Hindi heartland. It's about each and every part of India, each and every Hindu.
Exactly, and if you see, I mean, Tamil Nadu is the best example. You have
That's right.
Annamalai, the BJP president, and the way he is going against the hegemony of Dravidian ideology, which is hostile to aspects of Hinduism. So we know the kind of popularity in other states like Karnataka, Telangana, and you will see the results will be visible in the Lok Sabha elections also. So certainly this pan-Indian religiosity you already see in northeastern states like Assam and Tripura. The ethnic fault lines have now disappeared, and you see a unification of the Hindu social base, wherein the Bengali Hindus, Assamese Hindus, they are voting together. So that way, certainly BJP's imagination and the projection of this event is not centered to the Hindi heartland, and certainly those regional divides which used to be there are now blurred. I mean, it may be there, but it is no more what it used to be.
To ensure that it is blurred, let me bring in the two politicians here on the show, Dr. Shantanu Sen and Anila Singh. Dr. Sen, many would say that Mamata Banerjee has managed to communicate to her constituents very effectively that she is a devout follower of Lord Kali, and that's the reason why she will be visiting Kali Ghat near Kolkata and holding a communal harmony rally. My question is why everything appears to be an afterthought. That you all knew about 22nd only because you want to send that message that we can have a two-window coverage, in the sense that if there is Prime Minister in Ayodhya, there are other leaders in various parts. Is that the aim? Because what is getting lost is that the TMC is trying to play catch up with, and only after the announcement of the date that all these plans have been, planned.
Yeah, I would like to answer your question in two parts.
Yes, go ahead.
Number one, Mamata Banerjee happens to be one of the most important secular leaders of the country nowadays. Mamata Banerjee, yes, definitely she is a devotee of Ma Kali. She worships Kali in her residence also during Kali Puja. But at the same time, she works for the development, cutting across the party line, cutting across the caste, creed, religion line. She never plays religion card, unlike Bharatiya Janata Party. Now you tell me, why not on 22nd? Why on 22nd, our learned Prime Minister, who is known by now as publicity master, he is in a mood to install Ram Lala in an incomplete temple. You just tell me, if you consider the temple as a human body, and the Ram Lala or the idol as a soul, when the body is incomplete, how can you install the soul inside? What is the hurry? And this has been categorically criticized not only by us, it has been criticized by the preachers of Hinduism, the Shankaracharyas, and they have said, one of the Shankaracharyas has categorically said that this activity can be compared with an activity of a madcap. He is also saying that Prime Minister in no capacity can install this Ram Lala inside, and when he will be installing Ram Lala inside, Shankaracharyas can't remain
Dr.
present there
Shantanu
for
Sen,
clapping only.
My question is that why are all these plans of opposition, be it Sundarkand of Arvind Kejriwal, everything being announced now? And Hanuman Chalisa recitation, Maha Aarti of Uddhav Thackeray, Lalu Yadav, DMK planning something, Naveen Patnaik's Jagannath counter. Why is all this happening now?
You just tell me one thing, why Narendra Modi ji is in so hurry to install Ram Lala in an incomplete temple?
Okay.
And
Anila Singh, will you respond to that, please?
One sec.
Yes.
It's not that for the first time Mamata Banerjee is on the road with a message of communal harmony. I would like to humbly remind you, on 6th of December in 1992, when no other leader was found on the road, on the very black day of Babri Masjid demolition, Madam Mamata Banerjee was there on the road along with Mother Teresa to spread the message of communal harmony and to stop communal riots which were about to take place in different places.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My Ram Ram to all. And I was listening to TMC's spokesperson, and just now he said that there is no other political leader in Bharat who is as secular as Miss Mamata Banerjee.
I never said this. I never said this.
I can say. A person
I strongly object. I said he is one of the most important secular leaders.
Interject in
No,
between you? Then
you
you
are
should have
telling
some decency. You said, sir, you said that Mamata Banerjee is the most
Banerjee is
secular
one of
leader
the
in
most
India.
important secular
That's what
Okay,
leaders.
you mentioned.
okay,
I have
Now
Anila
you
never
Singh,
said
make
that
speak
he
your
is the
what I
only
point.
am
secular
saying.
leader.
Sha-
No, you cannot
Dr.
say
Sen,
my
you have
right to
spoken.
Prime Minister or
Anila
other
Singh, please
minister.
speak.
who
Yes,
loves-
Anila, make your point, please. Yes.
A politician who gets rattled, who gets agitated when Jai Siya Ram is recited in front of her. You are saying that she is a secular person. Insulting Sanatan or Hindu means secularism. So if this is the definition of yours to be secular, then you keep that secularism with you only.
You are
We do
member
not
to
want that
witness the
type of
Durga Puja,
secularism.
the largest
If
Hindu
I talk about
festival
Bharatiya Janata Party, if I talk about
organized by
Narendra Modi,
Mamata
then
Banerjee,
who
who
the
has
hell
taken it up to an
TMC is to
international
tell
level.
that how the Pran
He
Pratishtha
is to
should be
come
done?
to our state of West
What
Bengal
is
to
the problem with
witness.
this person? Have you lost your mind or what? Did I
Okay,
interject and you were
okay,
speaking?
Dr. Shantanu
This is
Sen,
my
please
turn,
let's
let
have
me
a
speak.
dignified discussion. Both of you can make your point. There's no need to outshout each other. Anila, please make your point quickly.
Thank you so much, madam. So, we do not want any sort of expert comments from the political parties who have decided that they are not going to participate in the function of 22nd January Pran Pratishtha. All right. The trust invited Narendra Modi ji. So, in that capacity, Mr. Narendra Modi ji is going on 22nd. We know the chief judgeman is Mr. Anil Mishra, and he is going to be chief judgeman there with his wife. So there are different judgmans and he is the chief one. So if Mr. Narendra Modi ji is going, because he has got all the respect for the Sanatan, so they are having problem. So their hatred towards Modi ji has gone to that extent. Now they are insulting Ram Bhakts, they are insulting Bhagwan Shri Ram. These all political parties, they were hell-bent that Ram Lala Mandir should not be constructed. They were the ones standing in the courts, running in the streets, marching on the roads.
No, but if the opposition, if say Mr. Kejriwal is saying that he would rather visit temple with his wife and the family, one would say that that's a very valid thought to have, right? And similarly, what Mr. Sharad Pawar said in his communication, that it's not about them saying that it's a political project just like the Congress has done. They are of the opinion that they would be visiting at a later stage when the entire temple construction is over.
Good enough. If they want to visit Ram Lala temple later on, they can.
Yes.
But what about all those statements coming from all these political parties? If I talk about Aam Aadmi Party or NCP as well, that why this thing is happening, why Pran Pratishtha is happening, temple is incomplete, though Garbhagriha is complete. So everything is there and we know it very well. When Pran Pratishtha happens, it is being decided by the priests of that temple and
Dr.
the
Shantanu
Jyotish.
Sen,
So
please respond.
Both the parties
Could the India parties have come
out
out with a more calibrated, well thought out statement which would have sent a message that all these parties have similar opinion rather than, giving a very mixed signal? Because if India parties are fighting the elections jointly and Hinduism and competitive Hindutva will be a talking point going ahead, then shouldn't there be a unified messaging? Ek clear message aapki taraf se.
First of all, I am immensely pained by the lie that's spread by our learned BJP spokesperson following his other political leaders of his own party, number one. Number two, if you want to know how Hinduism is respected in our state of West Bengal, please do come to our state of West Bengal during Durga Puja, the largest festival of Hindus, which has been recognized by UNESCO by giving Intangible Heritage Award. You come here, how the Hindu festivals are maintained, how the Hindu festivals are observed along with the other festivals of other religions as well. Unlike BJP, who believes in divisive politics only, and that too during the time of election. In 2014, they tried to play the religion card in 2019 as well. In 2014, they faced the election with some false promises. They failed. In 2019, they tried to portray a pseudo-Hindu, pseudo-nationalism narrative that has been clearly unveiled by the then Governor, Mr. Satyapal Malik, and now they know as they were far away from development, the country is burning as a whole. Now they are trying to play this religion card. But this time, this is not going to yield any result because
Quick
they have been
response,
unmasked
Anila,
from
and
the
then I
people
go
of
back
India.
to the experts and wrap up this discussion. Please go ahead, Anila.
I mean, they are not able to understand one simple fact. They have not taken rather the lesson from 2014 election, 2019 elections. Stop this rant that they simply talk about religion. They give lots of respect to their astha. They are not doing any development. Sir, we are doing development work. That is why we have become fifth strongest economy. That is why in GDP in the world we are standing tall on second position. That is why our infrastructure is world class. Again you are talking in between. What is your problem?
Yes.
So the reality is development is going on. It is an ongoing process which is happening.
Madam,
yes.
if you give false information to the spectators, I have got the right to correct you.
To the Bhagwa, to the Sanatan, to the Hindu is getting now. So that is your problem.
Sandeep Shastri.
Your political parties give into appeasement.
Talking about it from the prism of politics and elections, because everything has been done. Yes, it's religion. Yes, it's culture. Yes, it's heritage. But there is the larger calculation at play here as well. Who tends to gain? In southern India, I would ask, because if in the run-up to 22nd, Prime Minister is continuing with his southern forays, then there is some indication clearly that this is a catchment area. And what can give BJP hope in this catchment area?
You're right, Maria, in saying that the recent days that the Prime Minister is spending in South India on his temple visits is basically to expand on the whole development in Ayodhya and take the wave possibly down south. I don't think there will be a common response across South India to this. You may have some traction for this in Telangana and Karnataka, but I'm not too sure whether it would have much of an impact in the rest of the states of the south. But Maria, I think the point I would like to stress is what should be an intensely religious event which is happening on 22nd, which every devout Hindu feels is something important. I think the challenge is we are converting a intensely religious event into a authentically political event. And that's where I think the whole question of devotion versus vote appropriation comes up. And that's, I think, for me, one of the biggest challenges which I would see in this development. What should be intensely religious has unfortunately also become authentically political.
That's a good argument to make, certainly, sir. Neerja Chaudhary, as the woman on the panel, the final words and the last word to you. You know, as a journalist who has tracked India's politics and multiple elections for decades, did you ever since, can you recall for us any election which was, which would take place, which has taken place with such high fervor? The narrative is set. It's very clear. Going ahead, in another month from now, model code of conduct will be in place. And the temperament, the tone, tonality, everything seems to be set.
I think there have been earlier elections. 91 election was one when the Mandal versus the Mandir conflict was at its peak, if you remember. So there have been earlier elections with that kind of fervor. The thing to recognize is that what we are seeing and what January 22 represents is an assertion of Hindu identity. And that has involved a large number of younger people across the country, which has enthused them. Certainly, I agree that the resonance in the south and maybe even west, I'm sitting in rural Maharashtra, the resonance here is not what it is in Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh or other states in the north. But the Prime Minister is making a pitch. But the opposition really does not know how to counter the challenge of Hindu nationalism that the Ram Mandir also represents. It's a manifestation of that. They don't have a coherent strategy to counter it yet. And that is where the dilemma, that is where the catch-up, that is where attempts, because they realize that a large section of the Hindus, whether they are for the BJP or against the BJP, most of them will be for the BJP. They identify with this.
Yes,
with
and
the building of a temple in Ayodhya.
Yes, yes. I think it's that building of the temple that will be perhaps that point that we are looking at. And will this be an election never seen in terms of a pitch setting? That remains to be seen. Thank you so much, Neeja Chaudhary, Sajjan Kumar, Sandeep Shastri, Dr. Shantanu Sen and Anila Singh. That's all from me. A story we are continuing to track very closely, particularly from Ground Zero Ayodhya. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.